If you've ever heard of Croatian cuisine, it was probably this quote.
I didn't have any idea what Croatian cuisine was. Zero. I had no picture in my mind.
This was world-class food, this is world-class wine, this is world-class cheese.
The famous late American chef and TV personality Anthony Bourdain was full of praise about Croatia's gastronomy, and yet he only got to see the small parts of the country.
Today we would like to show you that there's so much more to our nation's food.
Hi, I'm Josipa.
And I'm Andrea.
We are both destination experts for JV Travel.
In this video about the foods of Croatia, we'll briefly guide you through the wide and varied cuisine of our country. This beautiful country has two opposing poles.
The green interior of continental Croatia and the majestic blue regions of coastal Croatia. The tales of this land dates back for hundreds of years. Our cuisine has been shaped by the ingredients that grow here as much as the civilizations that have come and gone.
Coastal Croatia, for many reasons, is usually the first pick for most of the visitors. This is a land of fish and seafood, of course, but also a land with plentiful meat delicacies. The gastronomic alphabet of coastal Croatia starts in the family Konoba. This is something like a cellar. Every winter, amazingly tasty prosciuttos, pancetta, and all sorts of gourmet sausages are cured and smoked in family Konobas. These are usually served with a variety of fresh goat and cow's milk cheeses.
To me, prosciutto is a beautiful memory with my grandfather. I still remember him picking up the prosciutto from the attic of our Konoba. He would first remove the mold and ash, and then he would cut prosciutto in very thin slices. And only after we ate as much as we could, we would take the prosciutto to our home and we would share it with the rest of the family. As the oldest child, I always had the privilege to try the very first slices of prosciutto together with my grandfather.
Meat and cheese appetizers compete for the space on the table with the most delicious seafood you can think of. Octopus salad, marinated and salted anchovies, fish pâté, tuna tartar, fish carpaccio, and marinated shrimps all create beautiful harmony served alongside veggie delicacies.
Marinated aubergines, fried zucchini flowers, pickled onions, famous fritaya with wild asparagus are very popular in the Istrian Peninsula.
Green and black olives, together with different sorts of seasonal salads, are regularly served as appetizers in all parts of coastal Croatia. And all this must be blessed with extra virgin olive oil, which is an imperative in this part of the country.
Main dishes come next, and the most preferred way of cooking in Croatia is Lesho style. Chicken, beef, or lamb with root vegetables, cooked Lesho style, is served on a weekly basis in each traditional home.
Lunch on Sundays in my home means we are eating Lesho soup. Even today, my mom wakes up early in the morning and starts preparing Lesho soup while enjoying her coffee routine at the same time. The soup must be ready before the Mass we all attend. After the Sunday Mass, the whole family is gathered around the table. The Lesho beef soup must be heated and served hot, usually causing the pleasant slurps of my father.
Unlike Lesho, which is present in all seasons, probably the most authentic dish on Croatia's winter menu is sarma. Minced meat cooked in sour cabbage leaves finds its roots in Ottoman heritage. In summer, sour cabbage is replaced with seasonal bell peppers.
Well, for me, sarma is related to cozy winters in my family home. This was actually one of the rare traditional foods I liked even from the young age. The best thing about sarma is not just its rich taste, but also the fact that sarma is cooked for several days. There is a belief that the more time it spends in the fridge, the better the taste is each time after heating sarma. And then, of course, during the meal, we always discuss whether the sarma is good enough, if the cabbage is sour enough, and so on.
The list of meaty mains continues with a variety of meat stews. In particular, highly valued are those cooked with venison.
And now on to pasticada, the queen of all meat dishes. This delicate and yet rustic meal requires long hours of slow cooking and a lot of devotion. This is the reason why pasticada is served only during the family celebrations and gatherings.
You've probably heard about the popular under-the-bell cooking technique we call peka. This is another gastronomic gem of coastal Croatia. Veal and lamb are more common, but octopus under the bell is a melt-in-the-mouth surprise.
As it's fitting, we've saved the best of the coastal Croatia until now. The Adriatic is one of the cleanest small seas in the world, and it has been extremely generous to its people. A rich, year-round supply of fish is the main reason why fish stew can be found along the land of Croatian coast. Popara, Gregada and Brodet are just different names for a slightly different stew rich in varieties of fish.
Well, talking about brodet is talking about beautiful aroma from my mother's kitchen. A red spicy stew, traditionally cooked with eels and frogs, is the most authentic dish in Neretva area where I come from. Probably this is the most unusual version of Croatia's fish stew. But trust me, this is the first-class delicacy that we traditionally eat with polenta. And of course, when we eat brodet, we don't use the cutlery. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to lick our fingers.
Grilled fish, or as we say riba na gradele, is the second favorite method of cooking. Although we have the luxurious sea bass, Adriatic tuna, grouper, dantex, and sea bream, somehow the small, simple Adriatic sardine wins out as our everyday fish of choice. This foster mother of Adriatic people nurtured generations and generations, especially during the years of scarcity.
In this region, we prefer to serve the grilled fish with steamed or al dente seasonal vegetables, drizzled with olive oil and seasonings. This is one reason why the Mediterranean diet is considered one of the healthiest diets in the world, not just one of the tastiest.
As well as fish, seafood is equally well represented in our cuisine, and this is usually served cooked with risotto or homemade pasta. Shrimp from Kvarner Bay, Adriatic mussels, and stone oysters all have very high nutritional value, and some are known as powerful aphrodisiacs.
Traditional desserts in coastal Croatia are plentiful. Nowadays, the most popular are Dubrovačka rozata, paradižot, fritule and kroštule, Istrian pandišpanj, as well as a number of cakes named for the towns they are customarily made in, such as Splitska, Stonska, Makarska and Rapska cakes.
With such a colorful gastronomic heritage, no wonder coastal Croatia has been a constant inspiration, not only for the local people, but also for many visitors who've fallen in love with the specialties they've tried here and return often to try them again.
Moving inland, we come to continental Croatia. The greenest part of Croatia also has rich gastronomy, with an emphasis on meat. This is the home of čvarak, kulen, and kulenova seka, as well as spicy čobanac and its fish version, fish paprikaš.
The area of Slavonia and Baranja is very popular for dishes prepared with venison. Slow-cooked venison stews, typically served with homemade polenta or gnocchi, are common. A continental Croatian table is unimaginable without sauces, soups, ragouts and stews made with all kinds of meat. The rivers are rich in fish, and the most popular fish dishes are those made with catfish and carp.
A few years ago, I had the chance to visit eastern Croatia together with my husband. Of course, we wanted to try čobanac, and it was really spicy, so we had a lot of wine. But I must admit, the texture of the stew and softness of meat was just perfect. We also enjoyed venison in combination with forest fruits, which I liked even better. The gastronomy of eastern Croatia is much different from what we are used here in the Adriatic coast, but I would love to repeat our experience sometimes again.
In Central Croatia, we found poultry and vegetable consumption more dominant. The cuisine of Central Croatia is largely inspired by local dairy products like fresh cow's cheese, sour milk, homemade butter, and fresh sour creams. Turkey with homemade mlinci, together with strukli dough filled with salty or sweet fresh cheese, are the symbols of the whole region.
Compared to Slavonia and Baranja, the tradition of making soups and stews in continental Croatia is lightened by adding a lot of vegetable roots and all kinds of other seasonal veg. Soups with poultry giblets, rich stews made with beans, potatoes, or cabbage as the main ingredients are often enriched with fresh sour cream.
Pickled vegetables are popular, and most represented are sour cabbage, pickled peppers, beets, and cucumbers.
Desserts in whole continental Croatia are alike. The most popular sweets are makovnjača and orahnjača, but also prekomurska and međimurska gibanica, as well as kremšnita.
Orahnjača is one of the most famous specialties of my home, as my mom is a real expert when it comes to this traditional dessert. It's usually prepared in winter, so even mentioning orahnjača instantly reminds me of Christmas time and cozy home atmosphere. The thing is that everyone prepares orahnjača in their own way, with their own little secrets. And my mom just recently shared her recipe with me, so now I can say with confidence that my orahnjača is the best in the world.
The somewhat remote area of Lika and Gorski Kotar is rich in woods and green pastures. Clean mountain air and rich flora distinguish this area as the first eco-region of Croatia.
Fresh cow and sheep cheese is the main base for traditional cheese called škripavac. It is a soft, full-fat cheese that you can hear under your teeth while eating. Its name translates to squeaky. Open fire cooking is one of the most popular cooking methods here, and there is no better lamb on a spit and lamb under the bell than those from Lika. Lamb is also popular as a stew. Lički lonac is something you simply must try out when visiting the Plitvice area. In terms of fish, the grilled trout is most common, but it's equally good when baked in the oven and stuffed with herbs.
The lichki potato already has a cult status here and is best prepared when it's cut in half and baked with its skin. The ingredients may seem simple, but the flavors are incredibly rich, and whatever you try in Lika and Gorski Kotar, you won't be disappointed.
As you've seen, Croatia's various regions and climates mean our cuisine is wonderfully diverse.
Even if you visited Croatia before, if you discover a new region, you'll enjoy delicious new tastes.
For us Croatians, food gives us connection to the land and the sea. Our traditions around the food makes us who we are, and keeping them alive is a big part of our identity.
We look forward to welcoming you to Croatia and introducing you to the amazing tastes of our country.
Goodbye!